Hello and welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Chris Corso, here with our football analyst, Zander Manning. And he was at the game over at Gillette this weekend when UMass faced off against Colorado. And it was a great game for UMass. They played well, played real strong against a Pac-12 team in Colorado. And Zander's going to give us some analysis on the game. So first, how did UMass stay so close with Colorado? It was a 41-38 game. What did they do in this game right?
Really what I thought they did well was they really sort of kept a good pace to the game, sort of held them to short yardage when they needed to, didn't commit too many penalties, at least in the first half, and then it slowly decreased a little bit towards the end of the second half, but they really held them to low percentage plays and low yardage.
Now there's competitions going on between the running backs and the quarterbacks. Obviously there's some clear-cut starters. Blake Fronapple is the starting quarterback at the moment. Do you see anything changing with these competitions going on into the following weeks?
I think in the next few weeks it's going to be sort of tough to tell. It's tough to tell right now because it's only the first 2 weeks of the season, but I'd say give Fronapple another week sort of to show what he can do since he has the most experience out of all the quarterbacks. And then the running back situation, the same situation, most experienced, but still I'd say give him another week or two to determine.
Now, what did you think about Fronapple's performance in this game? Obviously, he's a transfer from Marshall. He's done nothing but great things since he's been in training camp. Now he's the starting quarterback. What did you think of his performance, scoring 38 points for the Minutemen?
I thought it was probably much better than the first performance against BC. BC was sort of I'd chalk that one up for nerves. First performance with the new school, but then again, he's the most experienced, so I thought that was a little wishy-washy to start it off, but definitely a lot more confident today, or this past week against Colorado.
Great. Well, now UMass is going to take on another big school team, and that's an SEC team in Vanderbilt next weekend. Now, what do you think the chances are for UMass to stay, at least stay competitive against a team like Vanderbilt, who comes from the powerhouse SEC?
I think it's going to be pretty much similar to the game against Colorado because it's going to be a marginal team in a tough division, and they've lost to two teams that they probably could have beaten, probably, obviously, with the exception of Ole Miss. Always a tough team to beat, ranked 14th in the country, but at the same time, they lost to Temple, an AAC team, not an ACC team, not to be confused, but they lost and they've only scored 10 points in their first 2 games. So I think we got a shot at either a win or a really close game again.
Well, that's good to hear because UMass is really seems to be doing well under new coach Mark Whipple, who was obviously the coach when he brought them to the national championship of D2. So that brings me to my next question. Mark Whipple has had a great impact on the team. The players seem to love him. Definitely different than Charlie Molnar. Now they go against a team in Vanderbilt who also has a new coach in Derek Mason. What do you think that this will have will this have an effect on the two teams going into this game? They both have new coaches, both coaches who are new systems.
New to the school.
Yep, new to the school. What do you think the impact will be on this game of that?
I think it's going to be both teams sort of like chalked up with some nerves too because they're both playing some of their first games. Like UMass is playing their first game on the road. Like I said, that's going to be tough. But it's also their second game at home for Vanderbilt, and they still haven't won a game themselves, so both teams are going for their first win. They're both going to be anxious for that, but at the same time, it's going to be pretty evenly matched. Like they're both new coaches trying to work out the playbooks and everything like that.
Of course. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to see UMass continue up on just improving every week, day in and day out. And I know we're all looking forward to those tailgates back at McGurk Stadium when they come back here and play here because it's been a while since they've been back on campus. So thank you, Zander, for your insight on the UMass football team. And we're going to take a break and bring it back with UMass field hockey.
Thank you, Chris.